What's up, Township folks?
How's it going?
I am Joe Allen here with Keith Gibbons, and let's talk about what's happening around town.
Yeah.
Around many towns.
Yeah, we've got a few other towns in here, and mainly we talk about Gloucester Township. We're usually spending a lot of our time on Facebook to find content.
Living in, inspired by those people in the Gloucester Township talk pages. And, just, there's too much stuff in there, man. You got to talk about outside of just getting into, hey, sometimes you don't even want to go in and start and get into the comments because
it can get hairy.
Sometimes, man. Sometimes it's days. It's days of going back and forth, trying to one up the next guy. So it's like, you know what? I'm just going to do a podcast and talk about people.
Yep. All right, so what are we talking about today, Joe? What do we got?
What's the hot topics right now, though? Outside of there, what's everybody talking about in the area?
Well, I know they were talking about the Mullen School in Sicklerville had land being cleared, right? Or is that what you're asking me? Is that the question you're asking me? Or?
I was just talking about the general biggest topics in town here. In our town, in Gloucester Township, the biggest thing going on right now is our MUA.
Yeah, people are just getting fired up in general over the local government because of this, but then there's also dead silence from opposition from it for the most part, which makes you wonder, when say the referendum ends up on the ballot, and you're like, how did that pass? It would be because those people who are against it just sit there in silence and don't say anything. So the opposition is usually the loudest voices to be heard.
Well, there's a big group,
maybe
too.
It gives you a false sense of where you're at,
There's a big group of loyal people that say, hey, the people in charge that have been in charge now for the last 20 years, they know what's best. So if they put something on the ballot that they want to do, I support them.
Right.
And they may not know what the consequences are. I mean, they may know what the consequences are, but they don't care because they've got money to spend. And there's the other folks that we were just talking about, some of the less fortunate folks here in town, and what they've got to go through just to get through daily life, and man, your bill going from essentially $15 a month to $65 a month. That's a big hit for some families.
Yeah.
So MUA's been that's been a big topic. The old freeway golf course going away.
That came back up again recently here,
that's
right?
That's another big one. Thankfully, it's not going to be it's not going to be a warehouse possibly, but it could be over 700 homes on top of all the other stuff we got going on here. That's been
what are your thoughts on that? This is a property that impacts your daily commutes, I would assume, right? So as it being a warehouse and the thought of wow, there's a lot of trucks that are going to be coming in and out of there. If it were to be now 600, just say, homes in there, is that better? Is that well? What's your opinion about it? I guess the reason I'm asking the question is are people just against anything going in that property?
That's great.
Or is it?
Yeah, and that's been the commentary here too. Is people say, well, look, you got what you wanted. It's not a warehouse.
Right.
I mean, the warehouse is going to be, 100 people? A couple hundred people.
They're
tops.
building warehouses. I've watched YouTube videos where there's 3 employees and 200 million square foot warehouse. And you're like, wow, okay, so there's 3 cars that go in and out of there.
I worked in a massive book return warehouse. and it was conveyor belts and robots everywhere, and just a small group of people that managed the entire thing. It was enormous. So yeah, not a ton of people coming in and out of there, but when we go back to the warehouse over there, that the study there said 1,500 trips a day. So trip coming in, trip going out, 750 trucks,
Right.
1,500 trucks a day. So 1,500 trucks are hitting Sicklerville Road every day, which comes down to what, one every
minute-ish.
4 minutes, or was it? I forget what it was.
Yeah, it was.
But it's something. Thinking about the time that I sit when I come out of Garwood Road on the Sicklerville Road at the red light, 1 or 2 trucks entered the highway in just the time that I waited for the light to change.
Right.
And then
Right. So I guess that's the question. What boils down to, is that better or worse than if it were 600 houses? Like, well, I don't know what this traffic study would say about houses, but there's other impacts that a school. Either way, I guess it's just a topic of, like you said, people are saying you got what you wanted, but is that really what you wanted, or are people just complaining? Not to complain, but do they just not want anything there, and it's not their land to dictate what kind of goes on in that?
Yeah,
I guess is the question I'm asking.
But the warehouse might not have been a bad idea if they
What,
said...
retrospect?
No. If they said, look, we're going to add 2 lanes onto the road, and we're going to do something. I don't know, you cut a new road somewhere else. Some way to make it better. Now, I always think back to what we learned about when we had Mark from 42 Freeway here.
Yeah.
And he was talking about the development, the developing that they've done down in Woolwich Township.
Yeah. Yep.
Big housing explosion down in Woolwich Township. Unfortunately, there was a big housing explosion before businesses were in Woolwich Township. Mm-hmm. So their school taxes are astronomical because they're building schools to accommodate for all these people. Mm-hmm. And they don't have the businesses there to support paying for all this stuff. So when you have so many people and so few businesses, that's what happens. The people have to pay the taxes rather than the businesses. So you think about it, the more people we add to Gloucester Township, the more it costs us. The more businesses we add to Gloucester Township, the more it takes away from what we could potentially have to pay. So, yeah,
if you're talking about schools in particular, a lot of the times when they do pilot payments, which is a payment in lieu of taxes, that payment does not go to the school, so it's the same thing as if it not being there.
Yeah.
When you're talking about schools. So if your town is as large as ours and you're approving housing like it's going out of style over on this side, and you're also giving pilot programs and abatements out over here, it's the same effect as Woolwich, where you have no businesses going in, and housing is going through the roof. You're going to have the same effect. So
usually
we are
like
different in that in that respect from Woolwich when you look at it from that standpoint, because people get a tax abatement here as long as you ask for it. Basically, we've been told that over and over at council meetings.
Yeah.
If you didn't get an abatement, then you set up a pilot, which again, that pilot doesn't pay towards your fire, your Camden or the Camden County and the schools as well. So it's the same difference.
Yeah, in the argument against the warehouse, it was best because the land that the warehouse was proposed on was it's set up for 1 acre lots.
Right.
And I was okay with putting as many 1 acre lots in there we could. When you get into multifamily dwellings, then you've got a lot of people in there. Mm-hmm. And that was kind of where that's kind of where the line was crossed, to where all these people that were arguing against it and saying, well, they didn't put a warehouse in, and that was your big concern. Well, look, we had a choice, warehouse or 1 acre lots. And we said, no, we don't. We need to keep it at 1 acre lots. Now you're going to bring in apartments. It's a different argument now. So
it is. You're right.
So yeah, I'm still in favor of
1 acre lots.
1 acre lots.
Yeah.
I'd love to see somebody just buy the golf course and turn it back into a golf course. But
Yeah, that would be great.
it's probably not going to happen.
Nah. All right. What else? Well, yeah. So people started a little bit further down the street from the warehouse, right?
Oh, yeah.
Across from Ann Mullen's school on Sicklerville Road. A comment was posted. I think there was like 2 or 3 different people actually.
A lot came up this week because, land's getting cleared and stuff, and people all of a sudden, hey, what's happening?
Hey, what's going on? Well, it's too late for you to do anything about it.
Yeah, when they're moving dirt,
right?
They generally don't move dirt just because they're bored. They want to move dirt.
Right.
They want to see what this looks like without grass on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
heavy equipment is not cheap to run. That diesel's $5 a gallon, and clearing.
So across from the Mullen School District, what's going on over there? That's
so that was another area that was R1, which then was approved. I forget the number of units that was over there now. I want to say it was like 89 townhomes or something. I forget the number of properties. But either way, this was a 2 years ago approval thing. You should have come out 2 years ago to a planning board meeting and speak about this, and you didn't. So here we are. So on this one, I had made a comment here. It was it's great that people just they don't pay attention until it's too late. Everyone missed, like, that was another one that just happened the other night. Anyway. So that was one. We had multiple.
How do you do it though? How do you? You can't. Every resident in this township can't be tuned into what's happening.
No.
You can't go. You can't go to this horrible website here, and try to find, like, hey, what are they building this week?
Right.
In my town. You're not going to find it here. So there's got to be a way. There's got to be some way you can keep up to date. I guess the township doesn't really want you to know.
Do we have a subscribe thing for this?
You could. Well, you could.
This is one way. You could subscribe to our podcast.
There are people that are doing that work for you, so where you don't have to dig it.
Yeah, you could just go to our, gtobserver.com. We have articles on there. We have videos on there. Hell, you don't have to go there. You could just go on Facebook and read some of the posts that people post and think, hey, maybe I should actually read that. I know it didn't say cheesesteak or, who is the best pizza. It had something to do with something actually might affect me later on, and I might want to know, why is that land being cleared?
Yeah, so two different bits of content that comes out from us. Council meeting recaps, bi-weekly, and then bi-weekly we do this just
BS
random,
talking about
just kind of BS and
inside Gloucester Township.
Inside Township talks. So we got 2. So if you want the official of what's going on, check out the GT Observer podcast. This is the Inside Township Talk podcast, but the GT Observer podcast will tell you what's going on in council meetings, let you know what's coming up, and there's some discussion on there. We bring some guests in to talk about this kind of stuff, so you don't have to go into...
Right. While you're driving to work in your commute, instead of listening to KYW or whatever, I don't know, whatever you're listening to. I can't think of a morning radio show, but either way, put us on. Like 20 minutes on the way home, 20 minutes on the way back.
I still take Preston and Steve over us, but
yeah, Preston and Steve.
Yeah, it's the best one out there. But
all right, what else we got?
Yeah, so we could make it more accessible to people, but we don't. We have some community members here.
Oh, he's got me. Joe pulls me up. This was our school store, run by Miss Tish. She does an amazing job over there at this school store. All of my comments here are my own and not that of any position I may hold. And it has to, when it comes to these school topics here. But this was the last clothing drive portion that they were going to be doing for the school year, where people from the community have been like, really helpful with her in this school store. The kids earn loot. They earn Lewis loot, they call it. It's done at C.W. Lewis School. They do a good deed. Their teacher might give them $20 in loot if they see them helping another student. They finish their assignments. Whatever the case is, this loot motivates the children to do good and be good. Then they're able to spend it at the school store, and it's really amazing to see the kids they embrace this like it's actual money, and like they have wallets and bags around it, and it's the cutest thing. Like they try to get change so that they have like stacks of cash, and they or have look like there's a lot of money, and it's a lot of ones you got there, but it's either way, it's pretty cool. So the school store is one where it's a clothing one. Usually it's actually household items. Like they'll have toothpaste and razor blades or whatever, whatever not razor blades, but that was a bad example. But I mean, they have cup of noodles and like ramen noodles, and like some families in town are relying on that store, the kids earning loot to bring food home. They're also relying on it for clothing. So anytime she has a need and help, she knows she can call me and say, "Hey, I need volunteers to help run the cash register, or put clothes out, or whatever the case is." So I'm always there. Mary is. There's a bunch of people. Her mother comes a lot. Denise Coyne is usually there. So this is just a post that she had made about it, and it's amazing to see the community helping her make this a reality for a lot of the families that need it in town, and it just the program in general in the schools. It's
a lot of participants.
Yeah, she teaches the kids responsibility, and it's just workers, and they come and they get paid for coming and working. And they're able to come down during their lunch break. So there's so many different aspects and layers to this store that she started. It's just amazing. But anyway, let's move on from this.
I saw you had doing a food drive too last week, right?
I was doing the food drive. That was separate from this.
That was through Rotary, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was for Rotary. We actually we raised like $1,500 worth of. The community is awesome around here. You just ask for help and they come out and help. But yeah, that was a separate item.
It's this guy from the last post that we had too, wasn't it? Was it the same guy? Same guy from before?
It is John Berger.
It is the same guy, yeah. This guy's had it.
How do you get to that, which one do you do here? Oh, okay. This guy's had it, you said?
Yeah, he's had it.
So today...
He was one of the guys 6 years ago with when I was there.
Okay.
Sitting in a council meeting where we filled the building up, and they basically it was one of those, they did one of those meetings where they'll talk about
they try to get you to leave.
Hundreds of people showed up to talk about a budget,
right?
And they talked about everything under the sun, and people were like, "We're just talk about the budget." And they're like, "Oh, we got to go through all of our things. There's probably an award ceremony at the beginning,
Right.
And then when it came out to the budget, and everybody's like, "This is what we're here for," they said, "Oh, by the way, we passed this already."
Right. This was last.
So yeah. I'm sorry you guys are mad that we passed this, but yeah, you should have came. You should have came last meeting and talked about it so that we could have told you that. We hear you, but we don't hear you. We're going to pass it anyway.
Right.
But so this guy was pretty much just saying, like, this is why I don't go to these things.
Okay.
Like,
so he was defending his position where he was, I guess people like me were saying, "Oh, it's great that you didn't do it ahead of time. You're asking now." I guess he's kind of answering back. Well, this is why I didn't, because 6 years ago it didn't matter. It still doesn't matter.
That's my
take on it.
No, and that's what I think too. When I think back to the full council room, and then people in the hallways and people out in the parking lot, and it was a huge turnout. And I thought, wow, this is going to turn into something. The people here care about what's happening. I was new. I was only here for a year and a half when this all happened, and I thought, wow, it's great to see. I lived in places where we didn't have issues, right? So I didn't have to get involved
Right.
in politics. Things just happened, and you're like, I don't remember like prices, taxes going up and stuff like that. Nobody talked about any of that stuff. We just lived. And then, but here it was like, well, somebody's really got to the bottom of what's going on here.
Right.
So when we know my first take on this was going to this same meeting that this guy's probably talking about here, and I thought, wow, there's a lot of people here that need a voice, and I thought something was going to happen, and then
Nothing.
when it didn't happen, they all went away, and they didn't come back,
Yeah.
and like 10 of them came back,
Yeah.
and that fizzled down to 5. And then most of those people, when you ask where they're at today, they left. They just left. They had it, and they left. And then more people come out of nowhere whose names you never heard, and they're like, "What's happening here? Why?"
Right.
And then eventually, they'll probably leave. I'll probably leave. Everybody's gonna probably leave because it doesn't get better. But I get it. I get what this guy's saying. I get why he's frustrated, but it's like I told you on the last podcast. That's why I didn't go to the last meeting,
Right.
because I felt like we needed a really big turnout, and I thought, I'm gonna go. I've got a lot of stuff that I've got a list of stuff that I got to get done here, man. And I was just like, am I gonna do that? It's not gonna change anything. Nobody else is gonna show up. It's gonna be me.
Right.
It's gonna be me, you, and a couple people.
Yeah.
And that's partially right. So I get what this guy's saying, but man, don't. You got 2 choices.
Don't give up. That's all.
You can take it, you can leave, or you can fight it.
Yep.
You got 3 choices. So what are you gonna do? Are you gonna take it? Do you want to be the guy that just takes it?
Me? No. I'm Irish. I don't.
Yeah, you don't be the guy that just takes it. So.
All right.
All right, what else we got here?
Oh, there's another one. There's a lot of people kind of irritated with things that are going on here. Another one voicing their opinion.
Oh man, there's a big one here. There's a big one here.
Yeah. So this one here. Wow.
It's another.
It's a negative one about the MUA is bringing up people's pissed off emotions here. It has a picture underneath of council president and a link to his Patch article from 4 years ago. But basically, in the post here, she's talking about promises and how great the MUA was, all the talk, all the unkept promises type of thing, and that we need to get these people out of office. And it's just, so this MUA thing is kind of stirring up a lot of stuff in the community.
A lot of new names.
Yeah, names that you haven't heard of, or people that you thought, they're a foxhole guy, right? And then you've come to find out they're just as pissed off as you, and maybe they're not a foxhole guy this time. So it's interesting.
A lot of new names on here commenting. I don't know if they just I don't know if they had somebody that was working for the MUA and then they're personally affected by this,
Right?
Or
That's usually what it is.
or just a neighbor said, "Hey, this is what's going to happen. Your bill's going to go from $15 to $65."
Right.
And then that got them fired up. But
hey, let's hope it's both. I guess that people are just spreading the word, telling what's going on.
A lot of comments. The comments. I don't recognize the names in the comments, so it is kind of. I mean, it's nice to see other people.
Is that the same person commenting 600 times, or are my eyes that bad that I?
No, it's different people.
Is it?
Yeah, it's different people.
Okay.
Yeah, haven't really had conversations with these people. But it's good to see. It's good to see some new people getting involved, and hopefully they're not just a one issue, and then we're done.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, did all the warehouse people, once the warehouse, did they all? Some of them stuck around.
I think a lot of times people, as long as it doesn't affect them, they care less about it. So
Yeah.
if
it's
the
kinda
warehouse got stopped, now it's okay. Well, you're getting something else. If they don't like that, maybe they'll show back up again. I don't know that they're coming out specifically for MUA because they might not even know about it yet. I mean, that's part of the thing is
that's Township
messaging out.
I mean, a warehouse on Sicklerville Road, the people in Glendora don't care about
exactly.
that.
That's my point.
You know, where they should, because if they said they were going to put a warehouse in Glendora, I'd be right there with them too, because it's it depends on what you want your township to turn into. So I don't know. It's just funny that they used his campaign thing. And actually, somebody else used a campaign thing too when talking about somebody posted here.
Oh yeah, here's another one. Oh, this one was this.
No, it's an old friend of ours, Greg. Greg.
He said, this didn't age well?
Yeah, this post didn't age well.
This was from election day. It looks like
this was from election day. I didn't even know. I didn't know Jim Nash was posting on election day.
Apparently, there it is. I don't know where.
Where was he?
What's his name? Greg saw this.
Yeah, where did he post this? I didn't know that. I didn't even know he was on Facebook until well after.
Really?
Well, it was until after election day, and actually just recently I saw him commenting on some Facebook posts, and I thought, well, that's different.
Yeah. Oh, that's true. Yeah, it was.
There's a guy out there. Yeah, we got a councilman that's talking to people. That's not something that we've had before. So,
was that multiple days or was that just that one day? Because I remember we were like, "Wow, I can't believe he's responding to that." I wonder if they're going to get his hand slapped.
I think. I think he did it. I think he did it for like 2 days or so, okay. And it was like, I wonder how fast they're going to step in and quiet him. But I didn't realize he posted on election day. But he says he loves the town. Has the best interest at heart, and the best team for the job, no question. I'll disagree on that one. I think that's definitely not the case.
Well, that's why we have elections, right?
Yeah,
because we disagree.
I think he could still be the good guy for the job, but man.
I'm not sure, honestly, though. What Greg was saying didn't age well. Yeah, I'm not sure.
I didn't. Yeah, because it's not.
And he's saying this.
The town's best interest at heart, I think, is the part that sticks out. Yeah. And honestly, I truly think that he believes that putting it up to find out what it's worth and what can be done from privatization for the people is worth a look. So I feel like he thinks he's doing the right thing here. I mean, I disagree with it, but I could see that you could take that take on it.
I understand that as well, yeah.
So can't come down too hard on the guy yet. We'll wait for the budget to come out.
Yeah.
And vote on the budget for stuff before we get into big criticisms about that stuff. But I'm just trying to think back to all these new names. Are they going to exist next year?
Yeah, I hope.
Are they going to exist in November? Are they even going to exist in November? Like all these
this
people,
year, November?
All these people that are pro MUA and they don't want their water, their sewer privatized. Are they even going to be around in November? Because we forget stuff really, really fast here.
We do. Yeah.
I mean, we still look. We're in April. We got an entire summer, fall.
Oh yeah.
And then November comes around. I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen.
Let's hope.
We could elect one new council member in November.
Yeah, there is a runoff, or what do you call that? A special election.
Special election, yeah. Troxel. Troxel is she's filling in for Dan, who went on to state assembly, and her term
is what they call
it. Her term has one more year. Or his term had one more year after this election, ends in 2025. So they need to fill that spot. They have to elect somebody to fill that spot for 1 year, and I suppose I don't know if she's on the ballot. If
I
she's
would
the one
assume
that
so.
if she's the one that's running, I know.
I haven't looked at anything to know. I would assume it.
Yeah. So I mean, I know Tim. Tim's running.
Tim Pfeffer.
Tim Pfeffer's running.
He has. Does he have the world record for most number of F's in his last name?
I think
It's close, right?
I liked when I put his name on something, and there was a certain font that I used. It was a big bold font. I think one of our flyers, and because it's F's, it's a P and F's and an E, and it just looked like Tim. That's basically what it was like. It just they all looked, I think the letters all looked the same, so it was like, vote for Tim. So it just
Oh my goodness.
Tim, from what I heard, so Tim stepped up here because the rest of the folks in town were burnt out from running and losing. So Tim is like, you know what? I've only lost once. To where the rest of us are like, we're tired of being losers.
Yeah.
So old Tim's gonna step up and try to take over. Try to take over in with one seat, and man, God help that guy if he wins, because he's got a.
Oh yeah, he's got a little battle there.
He's got a battle for that. He's got a battle for the year until 2025, when we can potentially replace 3 of them and a mayor. Yeah. So we'll have to bring a rescue team in to help Tim out.
A rescue team, yeah.
So.
All right. Anything else, Joe? I think we got some other towns that we had a couple of things for. We can go over pretty quickly, or no?
Oh, stuff that I wasn't even ready for.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't.
I think I grabbed a couple. They're just images. They don't have the actual. Whoa.
Yeah.
So let's see if we go here. So in this town, it was just amazing. Part of this whole thing was like how many comments happen in Gloucester Township to talk about, when you put something up like the MUA and you get 6 comments, but then you put up a cheesesteak and you get 830, replies or something. So this particular one here, it's a person going the wrong way at a traffic light. Like if you looked across the street, there's a car facing you, and it's not supposed to be going that way. So people were in this thread all up in arms about out of town drivers, and yeah. It was
no front tag.
Yeah, so it's no front tag, but
yeah, that's a Pennsylvania driver there.
Yeah, so they were just talking about random things, and this particular group, you typically don't get more than like 4 comments on anything, and there was 128.
Cinnaminson.
Yeah. So this is Route 130. Like, so if you're coming down from Morristown heading to Route 130, this is the traffic light here, and it's a one-way kind of road right there. But anyway, yeah, it got 130 comments and, whatever it was, 200 reactions over there. So I thought that was just an out of the ordinary thing that people were up in arms about, out-of-state drivers.
If you live near 130, I feel like you just... I feel like you already drive in hell.
Yeah.
I don't know how you feel about driving on 130.
I don't mind
if I could find any other way to go.
Really?
Oh man.
Yeah.
We don't take 130 a lot, but if I want to go to Blue Monkey for dinner, fantastic.
Well, you can get there other ways besides this 130.
I only know the 130 way.
Oh, really?
And it's white knuckle up until there's a turn for Blue Monkey, and it's kind of like the turn is kind of like shaped like this. So you gotta come flying down 130, and then you gotta hit hard on the brakes, and then turn almost back the other way just to get up this hill.
Yeah,
it is a crazy turn. It's like, when the GPS says in 0.1 miles, I'm like, hold on, and then we just hit it. We brake hard. Brake hard.
Yeah.
Hit the apex.
Jeez.
Hold on to the.
Yeah. Oh man. All right. So we have another one here that I was bringing up because this was here for Strawbridge Lake. This is in Morristown. 08057 is the group, and they had Strawbridge Lake is a lake. It's in Morristown that has a canoe or a kayak. Whatever you call it, a race every year. Paddleboard and kayak. Get the family out, go there. They have a park there. There's a lot of places along the banks to hang out and picnic and things like that. But I think we have stuff like this here in Gloucester Township. We have lakes. We have Grenlock Lake over there. There's Blackwood Lake. I'm not sure what others, but there's somewhere that we could do something like this. I had brought up a idea of a kayak rental similar to the bike rental thing that we have up on the bike path. That I did all the research for it, found out how much it cost, found grants, for it and everything, gave it to council, and they're like, yeah, we don't want to do that. I'm like, oh, okay. But this here was a Strawbridge Lake Beautification Committee, which was a similar thing. We did not bring a post up, but Joe had brought up. In our town, we have a historic society committee. Was that a historic society that was?
Oh yeah.
So it was along the same same lines, but it was just like there are different committees in town that are that put together different things, and this one I just thought was a pretty cool one with kayaks on the water. We have the resources and the waterways, to do that.
I would try.
And we don't do anything, with those.
Yeah, I would try. I would try kayaking. I mean, last time I've done it, and I've done it down in out in the Pine Barrens.
Yeah. They have like tubing. I've done in Pine Barrens before. I never did kayak. Oh yeah, no, I did. I did do
canoeing. Is big. Yeah, canoeing is big. Tubing. I liked the canoeing. I hated the tubing part.
Really?
Yeah,
why did you not like that?
Like my butt's through the hole, right?
Yeah.
I don't know what's gonna bite me. I felt defenseless.
Really?
Yeah, and with a canoe, you kind of steer a little bit. Like,
yeah, I get you.
The tube, you're just kind of bouncing off. Like at some point, I bounced under a tree, and there was like a snake hanging there.
Yeah.
I'm not a reptile guy, man.
Well,
I think I walked across water to get out of there, and I just thought tubing is not for me. I need a little more control.
It is a little strange because there's a very not wide creek a lot of spots, and you're like, I don't always sit with my butt. Like you can go and your legs can dangle and you can't feel the bottom, and like all of a sudden, oh boom, big tree branch you hit as you're going by. And you're like, yeah. This is a lot deeper than it appears because it's so narrow, And then other parts of it get wider, and you're like, oh, I can stand up, and it's like this deep in my ankles. I did a tubing one. This was horrible. This I was with two girls that one of them broke their leg while we were all the way out because there was a rope swing like at the halfway point somewhere. She got on the swing and like swung out and didn't jump into the part where it was deep enough. Broke her broke it right off, and I was like, "What do you do in the middle of the woods now that you have to drag you all the way back to get an ambulance to get Oh man,
this was a big thing. I went to Camden County Technical School, and what we did on open house day. I think it usually happened like in the May. I think it was like May. There was an open house at the school. Where teachers and families could come up to the school. But
so they're like learning about to sign up next year kind of thing?
For the new people coming in,
gotcha.
Yeah. So it was a half day, and it was on a Friday. And what would happen is everybody would meet, and everybody that drove in, we all got together. Like we packed. We packed before school, coolers and all kinds of stuff.
Right.
And then as soon as school let out, there was a train of cars. That were all going into Batstow. And we would all go into Batstow, and we'd all rent canoes. And it was, 4 or 5 hours downstream. In there, we'd stop. We'd come up little beaches, and we'd get out. And somehow we all had, like, beer. So we're stopping, and we're having beers and stuff like that. And we lost a guy one time.
Really?
Yeah, we got done, and... everybody got done. Everybody's getting in their cars and leaving. And one of the girls that was in one of my classes, she's like, I couldn't remember the guy's name, But
This poor guy. You didn't remember him
her boyfriend was gone. She couldn't
Oh,
find
it was her boyfriend. It wasn't just like a random guy.
He jumped out.
Oh,
You
wow.
know, he probably had his first beer. I don't know.
Yeah.
Out on the water there, and he couldn't handle it, and he jumped out and he went swimming, and then we lost him. They wound up, and I think I was kind of one of the last people there. I was like, look, I'll hang around and take you home. Eventually, they found him like on the side of the road, passed out.
What? Oh,
Like,
my God.
Eaten by like mosquitoes. This guy was
Oh, really?
He got swelled up, man.
We didn't recognize him at first. We thought it was
it was a wreck.
Oh,
But
wow.
that had been a tradition, from what I gather, for just
Yeah.
from what I know, like decades of vocational school. That's
Yeah.
what they did on that. I'm curious if they still do that. I'm really curious if they still do that. But that was really kind of the last times I think that I went and did that. I did go back with like a friend who was like a big kayaker.
Yeah.
And do it. I tried talking my wife into it. She has no part of it at all.
No desire.
No, I'd love to go do it again.
Well, either
though.
way, I brought it up because I just thought it was a cool thing that they did in town with the kayak race. But maybe we'll start up a new tradition with a scavenger hunt. You know, maybe that'll be the new one.
we could kayak at the next one.
Yeah. All right. Next
This could be a potentially sad one here. Email just received from the Morristown Library that eclipse glasses given away there may be counterfeit. Do not use. So,
I don't understand what counterfeit is about the solar glasses, the eclipse
well,
glasses.
from what I gather from these things, I guess they're very similar to like a welding glass, where you don't really, if you look through them, you don't really see a whole lot until there's a ton of light, and you kind of
Right.
I think maybe they might just have been giving away really dark glasses.
I don't know. Yeah, it says this one here, I guess because it's just an image. It was purchased from Walmart.com is where they got it, where the library is saying that they got it.
Yeah,
But Walmart.com, I didn't know this originally because I don't really go on that site often, but it's similar to Amazon where there's individual sellers that sell on Walmart. So you're not buying it from Walmart. You're buying it from their platform, but not the store.
So some of the stuff could just be, it's just like straight from people, from like shippers in like China.
Right.
So they've got a ton of cheap glasses that they bought, and all of a sudden they're like, hey, these are Eclipse glasses now.
Yep.
And you're like, these are really similar to 3D glasses. I'm like, don't worry about it.
Why are they blue and red?
Yeah, and now
That's
and
for
now
the eclipse. Why? They changed it?
yeah, and now you're listening to this podcast because you're blind and you can't watch it anymore because you used the wrong sunglasses. You used the wrong glasses.
So it was fun. There was so many talk. I mean, brings up a point of how many people were talking about sunglasses for the eclipse ahead of time where they were out. I mean, it's a big moneymaker, I guess.
I was in, I think it was it Sunday? It might have been Sunday. I went to Lowe's to get some paint. And I was returning paint.
Okay.
Yeah, it happens. Sometimes it happens. And
how many times did you return paint?
I'm still baffled that Lowe's is still open for all the money that hey, look, if it looks like one thing on a card, here's a card actually. If it looks like that on a card, which looks kind of white, like grayish white, and it comes out purple, I'm taking it back. So I'm returning paint, and the woman's like, 1 minute. And she goes, no, we're sold out of those. And immediately I thought, solar glasses. Yeah. And she goes, yes, Deptford also. And then she almost broke into like a song with all the different stores. She's going like Deptford to Mount Ephraim, and then over here, and then she goes, yes, and that one too. Yeah, that one's also, they are gone everywhere.
Yeah.
And I have the phone. I go, Eclipse glasses. She goes, yeah. I don't even know why. I don't know why everybody's so interested in this all of a sudden, like the day before.
Because they don't plan out. It's just everybody has the last second.
She goes, if we would have bought like 1 million of them, we could have still had 1 million of them on the shelf. But it just so happened that we bought it. We bought a certain amount.
Yeah, that's how it works.
And they sold out so fast. But I said, I imagine that's not the first phone call you had. She goes, oh no, it's been all day.
Yeah.
So everybody was fired up about that, man.
Yeah.
I saw the cereal box thing several times. All the news stations said you get a cereal box, you slap a piece of white paper in there, you put some foil, poke a hole in it, you look at the other side, and then it's supposed to work. And then, some of the people on the news, on Channel 6, they were like, look, I tried that last year. It doesn't work.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, hey, thanks. Because, thanks. Thanks for not ripping cereal boxes apart now to try that out.
Yeah.
But at least you're not blind. Anything else on the...
there was one more in Delran. There was a... what do we call this? Theft, deception. It was Instacart. So this woman had an Instacart account that somebody must have hacked or got a hold of, and the person who hacked it, they don't have access to her credit card to go make a purchase somewhere else, but they were able to make $760 something of purchases, have it delivered, and then go back and steal it from the same person that ordered it. Went back and stole it. So it was kind of a crazy story. They did not have any... or they knew who it was through her account that I guess that she used and the videos that they had of her. So we have
it's
an image.
So it's kind of crazy, right? So I guess the person that works for Instacart, was this person.
Yeah, Jennifer, it looks like.
So Jennifer delivered the order.
Yeah.
And then later on came back
and stole the order.
And then took it back.
Right.
So, okay, so I guess maybe...
Well, I think what the person was alleging is that this Jennifer somehow hacked her account, used her account to deliver, used her own account to make the delivery to get paid on the delivery, and then went back and stole the same delivery. It was just nuts. It was just like, what is going on over here?
It's weird. Well, it's weird that you would deliver it in the first place.
Right. But maybe that's part of your thinking of like, well, why would I deliver the same thing that I, stole?
Well,
who knows? I don't know.
Unless it's kind of like Uber Eats, where you're on the map. So like they're like, oh, I have to go deliver this package now.
Right.
So they have here you are dropping it off.
Right.
Maybe she takes a picture of it, leaves, and then turns the phone off, comes back and picks it up.
Yeah.
But that's pretty crazy. I've never used Instacart before, so I didn't...
I've never either, but I saw that and I was like, oh man, this is... Maybe somebody out there knows Jennifer and can help this woman in Delran. And maybe Jennifer's innocent. Maybe there's... I have no idea, but this is the story that is being posted on Facebook.
Maybe they've got Jennifer's family at home and they're all tied up and they're just like, look, you need to go get all that Ben & Jerry's that we ordered from Target.
Well, I don't remember where it was that I saw it, but it was the guy. It was Amazon driver. You know how Amazon can have, like, you or I could just go and drive our own car and pick up orders at Amazon.
Freaks me out all the time. Cars pull my driveway.
Right. So just a random. So that type of a delivery happened at someone's house where it was just a random car pulls into the view of the camera. Right. So the guy gets out and has a very distinct walk, like a hobble, sort of cannot mistake his walk. Same, like, shoes that he had on are very distinct, shoes. He drops the package, the car leaves, and I don't know, 25 seconds later, the same walk, the same shoes come by, but he has a hood on with a thing and you can't see his face. Comes back and picks the package up that he just delivered and walks back in the same direction the car just went. You're like, I don't know who that was. We can't figure out, You're like, How stupid do you have to be to steal the same delivery that you literally just delivered? I don't know. People are nuts. So yeah. Anyway, so yeah, this happened in Delran, and I don't know. It's crazy.
My neighbor had the craziest thing. He was getting Walmart packages addressed to his address with somebody else's name. And
Really?
He'd come over here and he'd go, you know these people? Do they live on the street? And I'd look at it and go, no, I don't know that name. And then he'd go, I don't know what to do with this. So I took it, tracked somebody down with that name, gave it to them, and then the next day he's like, Joe, I got another one.
Really? Different
So
name?
No, same name.
Oh.
I go, I know them.
I know them.
So I drive it back over, and the guy wasn't home. The first day when I went there, he's like, my wife probably ordered this. I don't know why I went to your neighbor's house. That's so weird. And I was like, yeah, well, so the next day I went back and I knocked on the door, and they weren't home. And I thought, I gotta leave this package here now. I can't walk away with it now because then I'm the guy stealing the package, right?
Right.
So I left it, and then like 2-3 days later, there's on my step, there's another package addressed to these people. And
So now it went to your house. It wasn't your neighbor's. Now it's at your house. So the address changed on that.
no, he brought it over
Oh.
because he knows that me and the what's it, the Schaefer's, I forget. He knows we're tight now.
Right.
So he just drops off and he texts me and goes, yeah, they had another package. So I go to the guy's house, and I was like, hey, it's me again. He goes, hey, funny thing, that's not my wife ordering that stuff. That's not our stuff. And I was
Wow.
like, oh,
That's bizarre.
okay. So I guess I'm like, well, here, take what feels like clothes hangers. And he's like, thanks. And then a couple days later, we got another package, and my neighbors, I go like, look, it's not theirs, and he goes, I don't want anything to do with it. And I'm like, all right, what is it? It was tinfoil.
Really?
It's the box of Reynolds wrap. Yeah, but somebody randomly just kept ordering stuff and sending it to my neighbor's house, and we never figured it out.
That's crazy.
Finally called Walmart and was like, because it was coming through Walmart.
Yeah.
And finally told, hey, just whoever's paying for this, stop it, because somebody's getting ripped off.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's just.
All right. That was pretty much it, folks. I don't really have anything else for this week's.
Yeah, not a whole lot. We gotta get some people in here to do some interviews.
Yep.
We'll get the set up some space here.
I gotta get
Start
Mark
doing some-
from 42 Freeway a call, and I have some others lined up too shortly for MUA stuff, conversations.
Oh, fantastic.
But all right, well, I think so. We already do our subscribe. If you have not already, subscribe on Facebook, on YouTube,
GTObserver.com. Just go there.
Yep.
Find out everything you need to know, and that's about it.
All right, we'll see you guys later.
See you, folks.